but baby, I ain't buying. Need something hotter to melt the ice. Get you some Gatorade because your mouth is dying from drooling over me day.
Hey everyone, so this is Meet the Pen Name. I'm Julie. I am also known as xxDustNight88, but most people just call me DustNight. So my usual recording video app on my computer decided it didn't want to work today, and I can't get it to fix. So I'm using this weird free online one. So I'm not completely sure how it works, so bear with me if I'm like going like this a lot. But yeah, so pretty excited that I was asked to do Meet the Pen Name every week. Well, not every week, but like every other week whenever it comes up in Granger Enchanted Survivors. I always make sure to check out the authors because a lot of them are friends of mine or people who I read actively. So it's pretty exciting to be on the other end. So thank you guys for asking me to do this. Also, I must apologize. I'm visiting my family in Pittsburgh, and my mother and father have 6 dogs, and they're all currently asleep. No promises they'll stay that way, and they bark a lot. So if that happens, I do apologize. And since I'm using this weird online thing, I'm using my phone to read off my questions. So if I look down, that's where I'm looking. I'm not like looking at anything crazy, just looking at my phone. Alright, so yeah, I'm xxDustNight88, and you can find me on Tumblr under the same handle and Instagram, although I usually forget I have Instagram. I try to post teasers there when I remember or updates. Not so often, but I always do shout outs for the holidays, so if you like cute things for the holidays, you can check me out on Instagram. I also have a Facebook page, but that is under DustNight Fanfiction. No XX or 88 in that because Facebook's weird and it wouldn't let me keep the lowercase XX, and I didn't want it to be all like giant. I don't know, it looks weird. But yeah, you can find me there. I also have a private group, which is actually DustNight Fanfiction Readers. I believe that's what it's called. I forgot to put it on here. But you can find it through my Facebook page, so if you're interested in that. And that's where I post a lot of teasers, because I don't like to share a lot of my extra stuff. But you can find me there. Tumblr a lot, and my Facebook page. My hair is very staticky. It's still kind of like winter up here in Pittsburgh. I live in Virginia normally, because I teach down there. But I'm visiting for spring break, because we had the week off. By the time that you're seeing this video, it'll have been a couple weeks since now, but that's why my hair is staticky, because the heater keeps clicking on. Alright, but anyways, let's go through some of these questions before I start to ramble, and I do apologize if I ramble, because that happens a lot. Alright, so what's the story behind my pen name? Alright, well that's actually an interesting story. Way back in the day when I first started writing fan fiction, I was known as SA Tink 06. SA was like the school district I went to, Tink was my nickname, short for Tinkerbell, don't ask, and 06 was the year I graduated high school. And I went by that for quite a while, but I guess it was probably about 6 years ago or 7 years ago when Pottermore came out. Does anyone remember? I don't remember. I'd have to like Google that, and I don't feel like it. But whenever Pottermore came out, we all got like usernames on there. I was DustNight25832. You know, it was back when we could still like chat in the common rooms and do all that fun stuff like spells and stuff before they took it away from us. But yeah, that was my name, and I liked it. I liked the Dust Knight part, so I switched my username on fanfiction.net. Before I had AO3, and I switched it to that so that I could get rid of my high school nickname since nobody called me that anymore. And that's what I was for a long time. And then about 3 years ago, I started writing Wolves Without Teeth, and that's a crossover story, and crossovers at that time weren't as popular as they are now. I figured I needed an easier name for people to remember, and I'd been signing everything, like all my author's notes, with xxDustNight, and I kind of liked how it sounded, so I got rid of the 25832 and stuck on the year I was born, and that's how it came with xxDustNight88. So I mean, it's kind of a long rambly story, but that's how I got. Alright, so how did I get into writing fan fiction? So originally I was in the Dragon Ball Z fandom. Way back when I was in 7th and 8th grade, I was a huge anime nerd. Not that there's anything wrong with that, because I still adore Dragon Ball Z. Like, don't get me wrong, I have 2 one-shots that are Bulma and Vegeta. They were my OTP for life, like forever and ever. I will go to my deathbed loving them. But yeah, I was definitely an anime nerd back then, and I guess I still kind of am, but more I've moved on to like Harry Potter, like, you know, my life, and my superhero stuff, because you guys know I write a lot of Marvel. But that's kind of where I started, and I read a lot of Dragon Ball Z, Bulma and Vegeta fanfics, and I loved it, and I've always been a writer. Like, I wrote stories since I was little, like stories to help me study, stories just because I like writing, and so I was like, let's give this a shot. I tried writing some Dragon Ball Z fanfiction and it was really bad, so I never posted any of it. And about that time, I started reading the Harry Potter series and fell in love with Draco and Hermione. And that's kind of where I started writing Harry Potter fanfiction. And I believe it was 2003, 2004 when I posted my first fanfic. Actually, it might have been more 2002 now that I think about it. And it was a story called Nothing's Like Before. And I've since actually removed it. I think I removed it about 3 years ago from fanfiction.net because it was getting a lot of hate reviews. But come on, I was in high school when I wrote that, and I wasn't very good at writing at that point. I had no like good writing classes or anything, so I just got tired of the trash that I was receiving on that, and I deleted it because I write for fun and I write for enjoyment. I don't write for hate reviews, so I deleted it, and it is what it is. I still have it, and when I'm feeling particularly bad about something I've written, I go back and read it, and I'm like, okay, I'm actually a decent writer now. Yeah, so I've been writing since about 2002. According to FFN, it looks like I've only been writing since 2004, but yeah. So that's how long I've been a writer. Basically, I've had a lot of stories in my head. I always have stories in my head. Plot bunnies bounce around in there like crazy, and I don't know what to do with them. So I didn't know at the time because I was young, and I didn't know they were called plot bunnies, but now I do, and now I know what to do with them. So I would write them in my journal. I had a fan fiction notebook. If I was home, I'd actually show it to you under my bed still. But that's where I would jot down my story ideas. And basically what prompted me to begin was that I had all these story ideas in my head, and I was reading all these stories, and I thought, hey, I can do that too. So I gave it a shot, and I haven't stopped since, except for a couple times I took some breaks, like when I was in college. But I love it, and I'm glad you guys like it enough.
I told them decorations were